Welcome to Jersey's finest foodies. I'm your host, retired Detective Lieutenant John Kerner. On this week's episode, I'd like to welcome retired Newark Police Sergeant Tony Paradiso. Tony dedicated 32 years of his life to law enforcement. So why don't you join us while we grab a bite to eat at one of Tony's favorite restaurants, Brick 46. Now let's go inside and meet Tony. All right, well, Tony, thank you so much for joining me on my show this week. Why don't we start off by telling the audience what we have here today that you ordered for us?
We have a brick salad here, right here.
Okay.
And we have the pizza, and this is the one that's called focaccia.
Okay, looks fantastic. This looks like it's like an antipasta salad,
it's
right?
It's a big antipasta.
All right, let's give it a taste.
Very good.
Oh, that's great. That has great flavor. Has a little bit of everything in there. Fantastic. I want to give the audience a little taste of your career. Tell me when it started and what you did.
Well, I was in high school at 18. I took the policeman's exam on a Saturday, and then following week, they called for the fireman's exam. And about a month later, I got called to take the physical because I passed both the fire and the police department exam.
And this was while you were still in high school?
I was still in high school at 18, but you had to be 18. They lowered it from 21 to 18 to be a police officer, a fireman. And I took the physical, and I thought I did pretty well on it. And then just about graduated, and from there I was called to go to the police academy.
Okay.
And I went to the police academy for 6 weeks. I think it was 6 weeks. I'm pretty sure. Wasn't like what it is today.
Now it's like 22 weeks.
Yeah. It was a short while. And I stayed on the job about 9 months, and then I decided to go to the fire department.
Okay, so you started with was that Essex County or was that Newark?
Newark.
Okay, then you left Newark for a short time. You went to Newark Fire Department.
Went to the fire department.
How long did you serve?
At that time, in between the Newark and the police department and the fire department, I had joined the National Guard.
Okay.
So when I went to the fire department, and I stayed there almost 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I was in the National Guard, and they took my unit and they made me to go into the regular army.
Okay.
And we were assigned, and I found out I had to go to Fort J.
Okay.
And I didn't know where Fort J was. And I was asking around, where's Fort J? Where's Fort J? And a couple of guys thought, are you crazy? You don't know where Fort J is? Which I didn't. It was in New York City.
Okay.
By the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, okay.
So I was a year and a half at Fort J.
Going to Fort J.
And my time counted in the fire department.
Okay.
And I was assigned to drive a 3-star general.
So that's a good gig.
I had a great gig.
That's a great gig.
And it was good. You off base, on base, wherever he was. And then when my time was up, I went back to the fire department.
Okay.
And my time all counted from when I left Newark to go to the fire department.
How long did you stay on the fire department?
I was on during the riots, but I was on the fire department in Newark. The riots were, I think, in 67, if I'm not mistaken. Don't hold me to it, but they were in 67 for about 5 or 6 days.
So you were active fire department during the riots?
Yes, and they were shooting at us.
Really?
And if I can remember the story, my brother was the captain, one of my brothers was the captain at the 4th Precinct.
For Newark Police?
For Newark Police, yeah.
Okay.
Both my brothers said one was in charge of Detective Bureau in Newark. The other one was the captain in the 4th Precinct. And when the riots broke out, basically how it started was Johnny DeSimone and Vito Pontrello, 2 police officers, pulled a car that was parked by a hydrant. They told him to move, and the guy in the car said, F you.
Okay.
And come on, move the car. It's a hot summer day, move the car. F you. So Johnny DeSimone, who's passed away already, got out of the car and started arguing with the guy. And that's when they started throwing Molotov cocktails on the police car and the radio cars, and the guy ran. Then they started throwing Molotov cocktails at headquarters. And my brother was a captain there, and they did what they could do. All hell broke loose at that point. And then the fire department got involved.
Right.
Newark police were involved, and what happened basically is they were told to stand down.
The Newark Police Department?
Newark police were told to stand down, just do what you could do, and handle it the best you could. They called the National Guard in, and they were told to stand down.
Okay.
Riots went for about 6 days. The last day they called in the state police, and then they just stopped it.
They came in and stopped it.
They maintained. They shot and.
Okay.
If you go online, you could see there's a dead black boy on the ground, and a police officer was like this with his weapon, protecting the boy. And Life magazine put a big article out.
Wow.
Cop shoots youth. And it wasn't the cop, it was one of the snipers from the building who shot his
So that officer was actually trying to protect
the boy. Absolutely.
And
after the riot, it kind of simmered down, but it got worse and worse and worse. And then I had to take some exams, and I went to the Essex County Sheriff's Department. And that was another
stepping stone of your career.
Stepping stone in my career, I guess.
And how long were you at?
Well, then I stayed there about almost like 22 years, 23 years.
So you retired from
the
Essex County.
And when I got there, sheriff at the time was Tom DeLessio. He was a lieutenant, took the test, the program to become the sheriff, then he became Essex County executive. And he needed somebody to take care of domestic violence.
Okay.
So he appointed me to be in charge of domestic violence. Me and my partner would go to the house, and this guy would pick up a girl, in a restaurant, in a bar, and he'd bring her home, in his own house. And what would happen is, she'd ask him, could I bring my 2 sons? And he said, okay. Now the sons were getting a little out of hand, so he told the girl to go out. Take your 2 kids and get the hell out of here. And this is a true story.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
So me and my partner, Tony Patuto, he's still alive, Bill Riccardi, who's passed away, we'd go to his house, we'd have to escort him out of his own house.
Oh, wow.
Now she goes down to headquarters, presses a complaint on him that she is abusing, he's abusing her. So me and my partner have to go to your house,
Yes.
give you an hour or a half hour to get your belongings and get you out of the house.
Yes, that's correct.
So now we got to go to Trenton, to the courts. And I'm arguing with the judges. Now my partner's pulling back. I said, Your Honor, with all due, and, I'm just the only guy there. There was other domestic violence guys there. I got locked up. They were down in Trenton. I said, you expect me to go into this house, put this guy out of his own house, and leave this, and that's the words I used, with our 2 kids. You're using the wrong words. I think you should sit down and relax. I wouldn't sit down and relax. So my partner dragged me down, and
the judge was not happy, clearly.
no, but make a long story short, that goes on, and then they kind of calmed me down a little bit. And when I got back, the sheriff or the boss of my unit, which said, you can't do this, they'll lock you up.
Right.
So it was a learning experience.
Sure.
You're young and you're not thinking properly, And then from there, I did settle down. And then I stayed in the sheriff's department, and I started doing more and more of domestic violence and trying to do the right thing with certain people, certain men.
Sure.
And to make a long story short, I had a great career. But I had to get out of it because there was too much pressure with the workers, because I had 2 older brothers and both police captains. And you got the hook. I ain't got no hook.
Sure.
I'm breaking my ass.
Yeah.
And,
So one of my questions is that if you followed anyone's footsteps, any family members' footsteps that were in police.
Yeah.
And you said your brothers, right?
Yeah,
So you had 2 brothers that were 2 captains.
Right. And what happened to them, they always came out 1 and 2, or 2 and 1, 1 and 2.
On all the tests?
On all the tests. So they did away with inspector.
Okay.
Because then they appointed, from captain, you did no more inspectors or deputy chiefs.
It was appointed by the politicians.
By Gibson.
Okay.
Now, the best part was, when I got on the job, way before your time, before Villani, 4 years, then came Nizio, then came Gibson. And I was still on the job when Gibson was there, and then James came in. I was still on the job with Sharp James.
Oh, wow, okay.
Sharp James. I had a great career, 32, almost 32 years.
No, it sounds like it.
And
what was the craziest Newark? I can't imagine.
Well,
what was the craziest call or most outlandish call you've ever been?
yeah,
on?
well, a couple of them. There were a couple of them. Me and my partner Bill walked into a house with a wife with 2 kids, and he had a shotgun aimed at us. When we knocked, he opened the door. She called the police, and we were going. I'm not going to reach for my gun. So the only thing I could...
As soon as the door opened?
No, he had the gun on him.
He had the gun already on him.
And I said to him, you want to kill me, but let your wife and your 2 kids go. And my partner at the time, Bill Riccardi, he's passed away too. He looked at me. I said, what else can I say? You know, you got a gun aimed at me, you want to kill me. You got 2 kids and a wife there. And we talked him out of it. He put the gun down, lowered the gun, and then we handled what we had to handle.
Wow.
And we had other situations where, when you're domestic violence, I'm not going to go in with a gun.
Yeah, because you don't know who's there. There's the children,
right,
the women.
If you're drinking alcohol or you're on drugs,
yeah, it's worse.
you know, you're going back in the 70s and 80s when everything was, you know, it's bad now, but it was just as bad then.
It was.
You know, when you're looking at what we're going through.
But you had to kind of de-escalate the situation.
Well, the only thing I can say is, you're going to shoot me, kill me, get it over with. Because there's nothing I can do. What am I going to say? Don't shoot me? You know?
Yeah.
But you know,
you probably took them by surprise a little bit by saying that.
I didn't know what else to say after it all happened. Then I got a little nervous. What did I say?
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
And to be honest with you, after the whole situation, Cutty Sark looked very good to me. Looking back at it, I had a great career. I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world.
What would be your if you had like a proudest moment, like something that you did or something that really made you feel proud?
Well, it wasn't about me.
Okay.
The proudest moment I ever had was both my brothers made captain, and they put my mother in the middle of them, and they put a picture of my mother and her 2 sons. That made my...
Oh, sure.
Thinking about it right now.
Sure.
I just got the
goosebumps? Yeah.
I swear to God.
Oh, yeah, no, I believe it.
It wasn't about me. It was my mother came from Italy as a young person, worked her whole life, and my father.
Yeah.
And my father would have been the proudest guy. The series that they made on him about Kojak, I'm not lying to you, I'm not kidding you. They took that whole series.
So Kojak.
That series of Kojak.
Based off
my brother Rocco. This guy's my witness.
Wow.
And Rocco's driver was called Al Goldberg. If you know who Kojak's driver was Al Goldberg. But my brother's driver was Al Goldberg.
That is, Tony, that is absolutely insane.
And you could...
No, listen, I have no reason not to believe you. That is just insane.
And what's funny about it is no one realizes I have an album on my brother's doings.
Okay.
Actually, Lewis got the album because I gave it to him. What I did with the album, I made all because my nephew Arthur was a cop, my nephew Savino was a cop, my niece is a police officer. So
law enforcement kind of runs.
So they all read it.
If you recall, what's like the worst call you've ever been on? Whether it's depressing or just outright just horrible.
I was young. When I left the police department, I went to the fire department. This is a true story. We're first due on a projects building. It's about 20 stories high. Remember, I left the Newark Police, went to the fire department. I just got out of the fire academy. In those days, it was a little bit different than it is today. You didn't get 6 months. I went to fire academy, I think, for 6 weeks. I wasn't afraid of heights. I was all full geared up, carrying a hose up to like the 12th to 15th floor. I've got a jumper. Got a jumper.
He was on top of the building?
He's on top of the building. There's a railing. He's on the other side of the railing, hanging on the railing. I'm going to jump, I'm going to jump, I'm going to jump. It was a funny situation, but it wasn't funny. He's dead too.
Yes, I'm sure.
Was a funny guy. We're all up there. He said, look, sir, I got steaks on the oven. Either you're going to get on this side or get it over and jump. The guy jumps. He actually jumped. And like,
yeah, sure. Did this just happen?
He actually jumped.
Wow.
I don't think I was 20, because I left remember, I'm a cop at 18, 19, 20 years old. I don't think I was like 22 years old. I'm still like a young
You're a young
guy.
kid.
The captain ain't there. It was Al Gardidio and Richie Gabowski. Now they come to my names. So, but I were in the firehouse with Cap Jones, Richie Gabowski, Joe, I can't think of Joe's last name, and me. So the chief comes in, he says, somebody sit there. He would go to all the firehouses. Did somebody tell this guy to jump? Not me, not me, not me. Not, I ain't gonna say said it.
Right.
So, you know, I'm a young guy, like, you know, he's like 40 years old, 45. He's still a young guy, but
Sure.
to me,
To you, yeah, he was older.
I said, why'd you do that? He said, I was kidding. I never told the guy I was going to jump.
Oof.
I couldn't tell my mother the story.
No, no.
I mean, she'd think I was crazy. But it was,
Listen, that is an absolute crazy
I mean,
bad
like-
call. The state of law enforcement today. How do you feel about it? Is there anything that you would change if you could?
my grandson came up to me, Grandpa, I want to be a cop. I said, if you become a cop, I'll break your ass. I said, you can become a fireman, you can be no cop. No, I said, you don't want to be a cop. Be a fireman. You want to be a fireman, I'll help
Yeah.
you. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
cops are not respected at all today.
I agree.
And I blame the people
Sure.
for allowing it to happen. Okay? And I look at it today, when a fireman comes on a job, everybody wants the fireman. Today, cops are not respected at all.
No.
I mean, small towns you can get away
Yeah,
with.
you get away with it, but overall, in general.
No.
Um,
You know what a church climb is? A church climb is a ladder. They put it up 35 or 40
okay.
feet. They take a rope and they tie it. One guy holds it over there. They tie another rope over here.
okay.
They tie another rope over there. 35 feet. Straight up. Now, we used to do that down in Newark. You know where the fireboat is down in Newark? By the convention center?
Oh, yes, yes.
Right, there's a fireboat there. I was about 19 or 20 years old because I just left the police department and I was down. You got to go up that ladder.
While they're holding the ropes?
Yeah, the guys who got the ropes around there, you hold the ropes. You got to go up the ladder. Climb up the ladder.
No, thanks.
Oh, wait. And you got to take the axe and swing it a couple times. Yeah, I have, excuse my French, a little cojones to do that.
Sure.
Excuse me. You understand?
No, I understand.
But you wanted the job, so you do it.
You do it.
Then they had the other one, I can't think of the name of it. It was a straight hook with a hook at the end of it. So from the first floor, you pop out, you break it into the window on the second floor,
Right.
then you get out and climb up the ladder. Then you get in, you throw it to the third floor. Today they go to jail with those type of things.
Yeah,
The
you can't.
fireman wouldn't do it, you know. But, you know,
And that's why I was a cop and not a fireman, because I can't do heights.
No.
I don't
but
like
I
heights.
enjoyed being a fireman a lot better than being a cop.
The public, they do love firemen.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They, you can't, it's hard to get a fireman's job today because there's such a big list, and
Yeah.
now they're recruiting for police officers
Right.
because they're so needed. You actually kind of just told me, your grandson.
Right.
The question would be if you were to give advice to a young person looking to go into law enforcement, I guess you already said what you would tell them.
Yeah.
Be a fireman.
Be a fireman. Being a cop was never easy, but it's a lot harder today.
Yes.
Being a
absolutely.
cop today. And I just look at it and say, I feel bad for a lot of young cops.
Yeah.
Now, all cops aren't the way you would be or
Oh
the way I am.
no. Listen, there are some bad apples, of course.
Absolutely. I'll give you a story. We went and check on it. We never took elevators when I was in the
Yeah,
police
no,
department.
I don't blame you.
We're in the sheriff's department. When you walk up the projects, 9 floors, I can't do it, 9 or 10 floors. We walked up there. We opened the door. Elderly lady, in those days, used to have the long stick behind the doorknob.
Yeah.
Knock on the door. Please, please. Who is it? And she looked at me. So I showed her my badge. I went on to talk to you. Is I can't think of the name. John Jones here? No, he's my grandson. He doesn't live here no more. So one of my partners was a little bit rough around the edges. I don't want to mention his name.
Yeah.
But he was rough around the edges. So make a long story short, she said, would you do me a favor? said, what? She hands me a list. I think it was $10. She said, I have no milk, I have no bread, no. Not lying to you.
I believe you.
I said, my partner says, are you crazy? I ain't gonna walk down 8 or 9 step floors, get in my car, go to A&P or ShopRite, I can't remember what it was. It was in Newark. I said, I can't leave that lady, no bread, no milk, no nothing. She had a list. $10. He said, drop me off. So I drove him back to headquarters, got back in the car. I went to ShopRite, made her a list, I bought a few other things, got her what she needed. Instead of a quart, I got her a gallon, or whatever she wanted. I got a small offer, I got her a big bread. I got her an apple pie, because, she wanted some cheese. I bought her cheese, bologna, and, it cost me about $20. When you're going
back in the day, that's a lot of money.
$20 was a lot of money.
Yeah. If there was we talked about the young, someone going to law enforcement, but if someone said to you, a young kid, I am absolutely, can't tell me, you can't talk me out of it, what would be one piece of advice you would give that person if they are set on being a cop?
The advice I would give them is the same advice my two brothers gave me. Do it from the heart and do it right, and never look back. If you make a mistake, you make an honest mistake.
Right.
But if you're going to do something by benefiting you, okay, you're here 10 hours a day or 8 hours a day, your shift, do the job. Don't go looking for something that you could grab, or you're looking for glory because you did it, or you're looking for a pat on the back. It doesn't come. If it does come, you didn't expect it.
Right.
Somebody's going to say thank you or appreciate it.
Yeah.
In my day, I could let a kid go because he was speeding. You got to be careful on that today.
Yes, you do.
You have to be careful on that today because you could be set up.
Yes.
Okay. Years ago, when you gave a kid a break,
They appreciate it.
okay, or I take the kid home to his mother.
Right.
Today, I don't know if I'm being set up, so I think the cameras on cops were great. A lot of people thought they were bad.
No, I agree. In the beginning, I wasn't happy, but you know what? They're there for a reason,
Right,
and they work.
and I said that from day one. I had a great life. I had a great career. My two older brothers steered me in the right direction, and I think I steered a lot of my nephews. Savino's retired after 25 years. Arthur's retired after 25 years. Jeannie's got 10 years with Mars Camp in corrections. My nephew was kid. He's working with the feds. So circle of life.
Yeah.
It's all it comes down to.
Yeah. Well, Tone, that's the end of our serious career questions. I appreciate it, and I think you've had one great career, successful.
And I'm very proud to be when I say that to you, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. The best job I ever had was being a cop and a fireman.
Yeah. All right, so let's start with, this isn't really a New Jersey question, but what is your favorite cop movie of all time?
Kojak.
Well, TV show. Wait, was it a movie actually, or was it a TV show? Kojak was a movie as well as a TV show.
Yeah. Years ago, there was a picture of it. Then they made the movie.
Okay, I don't know if I've ever seen the movie Kojak, but it's a TV show. I'm aware.
How about you?
Okay.
Then I would say The Godfather.
Okay.
It was one of the original.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
All right. I love The Godfather as well. What about? Do you have a favorite New Jersey actor? Someone that was, born and raised in New Jersey. That's a famous actor.
Well, you go back with Frankie Valli, but he's not an actor. He's a singer.
Well, you know what though? Well, he has acted actually. He was in The Sopranos at one point. And that's one of my other questions. Is your favorite New Jersey musician? So there you go, Frankie Valli.
Frankie Valli. My wife is a big fan of Paul Anka.
Okay. Yes.
I mean, a big fan. I mean, it was between me and Paul Anka. She picked Paul Anka.
Paul Anka.
No, I'm serious. If you ask her anything about Paul Anka, she knows more about Paul Anka than she does about me. Now, before we got married, 32 years ago, I took her to see Paul Anka. Believe it or not, he brings us backstage. And we're backstage with Paul Anka 32 years ago. And she knows him since she's 16. So you go backstage, he said, look, I'd like to talk. He talked to a couple couples. He said, you wait you'll be the last, but I wanted to, he wouldn't change, relax. We had a good conversation with him. I got pictures of Paul Anka, me and my wife, before we got married. And then he sent us a wedding frame with a picture, nobody, but signed inside.
Wow.
To Lisa and Tony, congratulations. Well, we have the frame.
Yeah.
My wife is 61.
We'll edit that out if you want.
But we're going back 33 years ago, and he signed a nice frame for my wife, Meanwhile, we got pictures. Now we go back to see him. Lisa got pictures with Paul Anka. Anthony was 25, got pictures with Paul Anka. They're all in my friggin' house.
That's great. That's fantastic.
No, because it's a Paul Anka.
Yeah.
But we've gone to see him more times than I got hair in my head. More times than you got hair in your head.
What is your favorite New Jersey destination? If you're gonna
Wildwood.
Wildwood, okay.
Wildwood was my from when Lewis
was young.
When Lewis had to be about 2 years old, 3 years old. We went down with him and his mother and the family, and then things have changed. So then, Lewis was about 8 or 9 or 10, 11 years old. I used to bring Lewis down by myself. And then it'd be me, Lewis, and 3 or 4 of his friends in my car. A week. Me. No woman.
Just you and
me, Lewis, and 4 or 5 of his friends. Then the following year, husband and wife were dropping their kids off at my place. I would rent a whole place. It was called the Hialeah.
Okay.
The Hialeah was different then. So I would rent a room. I'd rent the top floor, which was a conference room. Had like a phone and all. They had no beds, had couches. So what he would do for me, give me a folding bed. And then the kids would sleep on the couches. I have 6, 7 kids down there. True story again.
Yeah.
I make breakfast, lunch, then we go on the boardwalk. I guarantee, to make a long story short, I got a phone call from the mother, go downstairs to the phone, because we didn't have no cell phones then, what the hell? Mr. Paradiso, the boys want to go on the boardwalk. They're 19 years old, you got to let them go. I said, I ain't going to let those 19-year-olds by themselves. Well, this mother called, that mother called, so all right, go. I'm worried. They all come back. Who's got a bra in their pocket? Who's got a pair of panties in their pocket? They're 18 there. Who's got lipstick here, lipstick there? Oh, you guys crazy? What are you doing? You're going to embarrass me. You're killing your mothers and fathers. Going to kill me. Well,
Good memories, though.
Good
right?
memories.
Good memories.
Now I laugh at them.
Yeah.
How's your daughter doing? How's your son doing?
Exactly. So as a cop, cops love coffee. How do you take your coffee?
Dark, no sugar.
Dark, no sugar. So I said dark is like a little milk in it?
A drop of half and half, a drop of milk, yeah.
All right. What about your favorite, I think you mentioned earlier to me, your favorite alcoholic beverage. You haven't,
Oh yeah, I love Canisar.
So back in the day it was.
Yeah. They don't even sell it here no more.
They don't sell it anymore. But you haven't had
No, it's about 20 years I haven't drank.
Good for you. Good for you. Who's the most famous person you met? Now you touched on Paul Anka, but is there anyone that was bigger than him?
Besides Paul Anka, Jimmy Roselli is an Italian singer.
Okay.
But my wife never met him. I met him years before.
Right. Now you mentioned that your wife, loves Paul Anka.
Oh, sure.
Big crush. Do you have a famous crush?
I would say. Come on.
I'm gonna guess. Sophia Loren?
Sophia Loren.
How did I know you were gonna say Sophia Loren?
But she is.
Yeah.
She's pushing 99.
Yeah, no, I know.
She's older than me, but she's still alive.
She is.
I mean, she still looks good.
Okay, but that's a good choice. That's a good choice. Sophia Loren was.
You got it right on my mind.
All right. This is the last question of the interview here. Very important question. Is it tail of ham or pork roll?
Tail of ham. For me.
Yes.
Tail of ham.
I agree with you.
But my partner, Tony Patuto, still calls it pork roll.
He does. And where's he from? Is he from here, North Jersey?
He's from Silver Lake.
Okay.
They call it pork roll. Kenny O'Mara calls it pork roll.
Really?
Yeah. And he's a young kid. He's only 76.
Okay. Yeah, most of the people I talk to call it tail of ham. I know a few people that call it pork
What do you
roll.
call it?
I call it tail of ham.
Okay.
Of course.
So you're the younger generation.
Yeah. All right. Well, awesome. Tone, it has been a blast talking to you. Thank you so much for being on the
Now,
show.
let me ask you a question before we go.
Sure.
How old are you?
We'll talk after we cut the cameras. We'll talk after we cut the cameras.
Okay.
Well, and I just want to thank everyone for tuning in to this week's episode of Jersey's Finest Foodies. And I have to thank Lou from Brick 46. Address is 68 US Route 46 in Rockaway, New Jersey, for this amazing brick salad.
The pizza is great.
Pizzas. Just come down, see Lou, book your party here, order food. It's absolutely out of this world. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Have a good day.
All right.